Hi guys, in this video I'm talking about this book, The Age of Extraction by Tim Wu. No, it's got nothing to do with that kind of extraction. It has more to do with how digital innovations that benefited everyone initially later turned exploitative. Now, in the wake of the dot-com bust a quarter of a century ago, online platforms refused to go quietly. New online concepts emerged. Everyone got excited again, calling them game changers. Now, these concepts would morph from new conveniences, services to mankind into massive profit-driven enterprises, changing the game for sure, but not in ways which were expected. In the past, we had pianos to make music, bookstores for readers, and art supplies shops for artists. But today, all that can be packed into a single digital device, thanks to the new platform economy, which not only replaces practically every analog instrument, but extends control to practically every form of business out there, doing comparatively little work. Now that's because these platforms can operate automatically, and the best part is they extract wealth from businesses that do the real work. Like real estate magnates, platform owners have taken the lion's share of the economy. The younger generation who did everything their parents told them to do, study hard, work hard, may find themselves exploited to feed the platforms or get economically or technologically marginalized. Instead of democratizing opinions and equalizing opportunities, making everyone happier and more prosperous, this new technology is now funneling wealth into the pockets of a very small minority of the super rich. Let's see how we got here. In the late 1990s, the internet was a new and exciting place. Almost anyone could get online and get himself or herself heard. Desktop publishing revolutionized publishing. The internet gave everyone a voice in the public domain. Back then, dozens of thought leaders had predicted a decentralized future in which the Goliaths didn't stand a chance against the determined Davids. The small is beautiful spirit also bled into commercial and economic matters. An Army of Davids, published in 2006 by professor and early blogger Glenn Reynolds, described the little guy theory of the early 2000s most cogently. Reynolds believed that thanks to technological advances, the future would belong to smaller economic units. A quote, "As technology moves towards smaller, faster and cheaper approaches to many jobs, we are likely to see an army of Davids, small or individualized businesses, taking the place of those slow, shuffling Goliaths." Unquote. Now, these developments, Reynolds predicted, will represent a dramatic reversal of recent history toward more cottage industry, more small enterprises and ventures. Reynolds predicted that we are likely to see a movement from impersonal, imposed means to an end to a more individualized, grassroots way of doing things. In 2007, eBay beat the sales of America's largest departmental store chains. 853 independent stores raked in $26.3 billion. Amazon grew from a warehouse for books giving obscure titles without massive advertising budget a fair chance of being noticed. In its early days, Amazon was the place to go for independent publishers. It was truly a game changer. Physical bookstores had limited shelf space, but an online bookstore gave the little guys almost as much exposure as the big boys. Touching the Void, an obscure book, became an instant bestseller after it was listed in Amazon. It's no wonder that experts thought that this was going to be a trend. Now, from the world's largest bookstore, Amazon opened a marketplace to welcome sellers of almost any product to list their items for sale. Then, the management at Amazon realized that it was far more profitable being a platform for merchants and customers than a store making direct sales. To attract merchants, Amazon offered them an order fulfillment service. This helped Amazon jump ahead of eBay, which required merchants to do their own shipping. It seemed like a platform made in mom and pop heaven until they started making sellers compete for top spot listings. By the 2010s, something changed. The main tech firms had established a new playbook for maximizing use of their newfound platform power. Gone were the days of giving the little guys a level playing field. In its place was a strategy that extracted behavioral data of the masses and squeezed exposure fees from desperate small merchants. The more the sellers were willing to pay, the more visible their products would be. The little guys can't just break in, they need a decent advertising budget. Google followed the same playbook. They started off as a very helpful search engine. They ended up making content creators bid for higher rankings. As things turned out, the majority of sellers on Amazon are not making money, even when 90% of their sales go through that platform. When most countries were protecting their flagship enterprises, America enforced strict anti-monopoly laws. IBM was hit in the 1970s. Waze emerged in 2006 and became a serious rival to Google Maps. The acquisition of Waze marked the end of an era. But when Google and Amazon bought up their competitors, DoubleClick, Waze, YouTube, Android, they managed to get clearance from regulators who could not predict that Google would grow into such a Goliath that there would be no more Davids left when it was established. This book aims to answer a question. Just what happened to the promise of democracy, the empowerment of the little guys that many had expected to follow the internet revolution? Seduced by the purportedly noble missions, many pundits had assumed that the nascent platforms like Google and Amazon would do small independent private enterprises a big favor. What we are seeing now is that a handful of digital landlords have taken the lion's share of the new economy with relatively little effort. Autocracy, not democracy, is on the rise. The internet is no longer an equalizer. Seemingly public-spirited Google went on to buy over its competitors. Many of these platforms and tools are virtually indispensable to us today. But it's important to realize that their free services are actually not free at all. By providing the so-called free services, platforms were able to gather information on preferences and behavioral patterns. The larger and more accurate the database, the greater power it gives the platform to target advertisements. The economy of the future is driven by businesses and their virtual landlords who rent out not just advertising space, but their users' attention. And they rent out to organizations, both commercial and political. Amazon soon transformed its business model and became an online marketplace for all kinds of products. This put Amazon in competition with eBay, but Amazon provided a storage and handling service. Online retailers found the concept irresistible. eBay was beaten. With its market share established, Amazon started increasing its fees as more and more products flooded its virtual shelves. Amazon, effectively a trading platform now, started introducing sponsored search results. That's 21st century advertising for you. Now, this scheme puts sellers in competition for top spots. Those who paid the most became the most visible. Amazon sits back and collects the money. Google Ads, they do the same thing. making advertisers bid for keywords which may cost $80 a click. Now the age of extraction has arrived. Small businesses struggle to generate wealth. Yesterday's facilitators extracted. Consumers sit at the bottom of the food chain. Amazon and Google saw tremendous success with retailers. Next, medical services were targeted by new platforms following the old playbook. Doctors who joined these platforms initially found themselves freed from the hassle of paperwork. They even managed publicity, advertising, and staffing issues. But things didn't get easier for the doctors. The platforms took a big cut, made doctors work much longer hours, and they made exorbitant insurance claims, driving up medical costs. They just kept taking in more and more doctors, eventually decimating the small independent practices. America's housing crisis started in 2008 and hit bottom around 2010. Is there a way to profit from the crisis? You bet. Warren Buffett said, quote, "If I had a way of buying a couple of 100,000 single-family homes and if I had a way of managing them, I would load up on them," unquote. The answer? A digital platform like Invitation Homes. Starting in 2012, the company bought 50,000 homes in less than 36 months with a budget of $10 billion from alternative investment company Blackstone. By 2016, 95% of the distressed mortgages on Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac had been auctioned off housing platforms like Invitation Homes. The platforms then refurbished the places, making them attractive to renters. Their rents being charged by the platform would increase up to 13% annually. Not only that, they introduced new fees, and in a period of acute housing shortage, Invitation Homes grew to be a $20 billion company. Far from benefiting the little Davids, digital platforms like Invitation Homes have effectively centralized land ownership. I'll leave what's wrong with socialism for another video, and this book highlights a form of economic dictatorship, and history tells us that it's not a good idea. Aggregating wealth or easy money to a few individuals in the country ultimately leads to a crash or even violent revolution. The road to serfdom, according to the author, starts with monopolization. This will then lead to extraction. The top companies in every sector sit comfortably on assured profits, while consumers have no say and no choice when it comes to price hikes. Then comes the resentment stage. What happens next depends on government intervention. Some people are easily placated. Some are awfully demanding. When demands are not met, a maverick who promises a complete reset gets the mandate of the people. Throughout history, many experiments with land and industrial reforms have been tried, all with little success. The author highlights Taiwan as a possible role model, with TSMC dominating the market without extracting from the people. Can markets self-correct like biological systems? It didn't happen in the past with Carnegie and Rockefeller. Will it happen this time? Interestingly, the author pointed out that Karl Marx and the capitalists were actually both in favor of centralized economies. The book then shifts our attention to blockchain and cryptocurrencies. The theory is that a money system that is independent of government manipulation. Just like the promises made by the online economy, crypto purportedly levels the playing field. Interestingly, Bitcoin trading was not completely digital in the past. Traders had to meet up in person to exchange digital coins for cash. As certainly as night follows day, several digital platforms for Bitcoin emerged. Mt. Gox was handling 70% of Bitcoin exchanges before it was shut down. Customers lost a total of $82 billion. My fellow Singaporeans would be quite familiar with this piece of news. Are we destined to welcome the rapid emergence of a permanent underclass? By 2021, a company like Apple has accumulated $200 billion in cash. Is there a legal way to redistribute that wealth for those who can't afford to buy their shares? Now, it needs to be pointed out that a social safety net is not a substitute for a balanced economy. How long can this charity last before the company leaves? The author finishes off with some considerations which may rein in platform power and close the gap between the haves and the have-nots. Firstly, competition and anti-monopoly laws. When regulators were still unable to project the future reach of Google and Facebook, these companies were already buying up competitors or reach private agreements not to compete in certain areas. Now, the antitrust blackout only ended with Google going on trial in 2024. Next, ban business discrimination and exclusivity. Power platforms can be deemed as essential services with public callings, and they must treat all worthy consumers equally. The author is optimistic about restoring the internet economy to one that provides economic uplift to all businesses, especially the small ones. With the recent spate of retrenchments by the big boys while the small guys can't afford to employ, I'm not so optimistic.